Inside of you, at this very moment, resides a power of almost infinite magnitude, a power capable of healing, of attracting immense wealth, of guiding you toward harmonious relationships, and of turning your boldest dreams into a tangible reality. However, for the vast majority of us, this power lies dormant. It is a benevolent giant that waits, in silence, for the command to awaken and place itself at our service. We live our lives operating with only a fraction of our true capacity. We struggle, we strive, we try to force results with the limited willpower of our conscious mind. We wonder why life feels so difficult, why we stumble upon the same obstacles again and again, without realizing that often we are fighting against the current of our own immense inner power. The key to radically transforming your existence does not lie in fighting harder against the outside world, but in learning to communicate with the director of your inner world, your subconscious mind. This is a journey to the control center of your own reality. Throughout these words, you will learn the laws that govern this giant, the language it understands, and the precise techniques to impress your desires upon its creative substance. You will discover that you are not a victim of circumstances, but the silent programmer of your own experience. This is only the beginning of the exploration. If this topic interests you and you feel the call to awaken your own inner power, like this video and subscribe to join us on this journey. The giant is about to awaken. The question is, what are you going to command it to build? Chapter 1. The two captains of your ship, the conscious and subconscious mind. To understand the immense power that lies dormant within us, we must first understand the structure of our own mind. We are not a single monolithic entity. Our consciousness is a dual system, composed of two distinct intelligences, two captains who govern the ship of our life, often with completely different intentions and languages. The first captain is the one we all know. It is the conscious mind. It is that voice in your head that is listening to these words right now. It is the thinker, the analyzer, the one who makes logical decisions. Imagine the ship of your life. Your conscious mind is the captain on the command bridge. It uses its 5 senses like a telescope to observe the outside world. It consults its maps and navigational charts, which are your education, your knowledge, and your logical reasoning. Based on this information, it makes decisions and gives orders. The conscious captain is the guardian at the gate. It has the power to choose. It can analyze an idea, accept it, or reject it. It is the seat of willpower, the power that drives us to strive, to discipline ourselves, to try to force a result. The conscious captain believes most of the time that he is the only one in command, that the ship moves thanks to his brilliance and his effort at the helm. But this is a dangerous illusion. Because below deck, in the vast and often dark engine room of the ship, works the second captain, a force of infinitely superior power. This is your subconscious mind. If the conscious mind is the captain who gives the orders, the subconscious mind is the entire crew and the monumental machinery of the ship. It does not reason. It does not debate. It does not choose. Its only function is to accept the orders from the command bridge and execute them with relentless and perfect efficiency. The engine room does not care if the captain orders a course to a tropical paradise or to an iceberg field. The order is the order, and it will mobilize the full power of the ship to reach that destination. Your subconscious mind is the seat of your emotions. It is the archive of every experience you have ever lived, the book of your life where nothing is forgotten. It controls all the vital functions of your body, your heartbeat, your breathing, your digestion, without you having to think about it. It is the source of your intuition, your hunches, your creative inspirations, and most importantly, it is the point of connection with a greater intelligence and power, what some call the universal mind or infinite intelligence. The most crucial characteristic of the subconscious mind, the one you must burn into your memory, is that it is completely impersonal and non-selective. It is like the fertile soil of a garden. The soil does not care if you plant the seed of a rose or the seed of a poisonous weed. It accepts any seed you give it, and it will make it grow with the same energy and dedication. Your subconscious operates in exactly the same way. It accepts as absolute truth any thought, belief, or feeling that your conscious mind habitually and with conviction hands over to it. This is where we discover the true dynamics of power. The captain on the command bridge, your conscious mind, may believe he is in control, but it is the engine room, your subconscious mind, that truly moves the ship. The interaction between the two is governed by the law of belief. The law is simple. Your subconscious will accept and materialize any belief that your conscious mind accepts as true. It does not matter if that belief is objectively true or false. It does not matter if it is good or bad for you. If your conscious mind, the captain, genuinely believes that it is very difficult to make money, that belief is the order that is shouted down to the engine room. The subconscious crew accepts it as fact and begins to operate your reality in such a way that, indeed, making money becomes incredibly difficult. It will cause you to overlook opportunities, to make poor decisions, to feel a strange aversion to wealth. Conversely, if the captain genuinely believes that I always find the solutions to my problems, the engine room receives that order and gets to work. It will sharpen your intuition, bring relevant information to your memory, and make you notice synchronicities and opportunities that will guide you directly to the solution. The fundamental problem, the reason for most human suffering and struggle, lies in the conflict between the conscious and subconscious minds. This is what happens when the captain gives contradictory orders. Consciously, with his willpower, the captain shouts, "I want to be brave and self-confident." But in his heart, in his deepest belief, forged in childhood, he feels, "I am not good enough. I am not worthy." The engine room, the subconscious mind, receives both orders. Which one does it obey? Always, without exception, it obeys the stronger one, the one charged with more feeling and conviction. It ignores the captain's superficial desire and executes the deep-seated belief. And so, the person finds themselves self-sabotaging, acting insecurely, despite all their conscious efforts to be brave. It is not a failure of their willpower. It is a triumph of the law of belief. Their ship is impeccably heading toward the destination of not being enough, because that is the real order the captain has been issuing from his heart. To take true control of your life, you do not need more willpower to row harder. You need to become a better captain. A captain who understands that his most important job is not to force the helm, but to consciously choose the thoughts, images, and feelings he transmits to his powerful and infallible crew. Practice, observing your two captains. The first step to becoming a master of your mind is self-observation. You must become aware of the orders you have been giving automatically. Exercise 1, the captain's and engine room's log. For the next week, dedicate 5 minutes at the end of each day to this exercise in your journal. Create 2 columns. In column 1, orders from the captain, conscious. Write down the conscious intentions, desires, and goals you had for that day. For example, I wanted to eat healthily. I wanted to be productive and finish my report. I wanted to be patient with my family. In column 2, actions of the crew, subconscious. Write down what actually happened, your automatic behaviors and your dominant feelings. For example, I had an irresistible craving for sugar in the afternoon and ate 3 cookies. I procrastinated on social media for 2 hours. I lost my patience and yelled over something silly. This exercise is not to judge yourself, but so you can see with brutal clarity the gap that exists between your conscious desires and your subconscious programming. It is the diagnosis of your current state. Exercise 2, identifying the dominant suggestions. Now take it a step further. Become a spy on your own internal dialogue throughout the day. What are the phrases, the orders that you repeat to yourself most frequently? Carry a small notebook with you or use a notes app. Every time you catch yourself with a strong, repetitive thought about yourself or about life, write it down. Are they predominantly negative? Phrases like, "This is too hard," "I'll never make it," "The same thing always happens to me," "How stupid I am." Or are there any positive ones? "I can handle this," "I'll find a way," "Things usually work out for me." This list will reveal the default programming that your engine room is running 24 hours a day. These habitual thoughts and the feelings they generate are the master orders that are creating your reality. You have been the captain of your ship your whole life, but perhaps until now you have been navigating on autopilot, blaming the sea or the crew for the results, without realizing that the ship has only been faithfully following your own orders, the beliefs you have accepted as true. The first and most crucial step toward mastery is not learning to control the ocean, but to control the captain. It is to consciously take command. Now that you know your two captains and the power dynamic between them, you are ready to learn the specific language that the engine room understands, the language that transforms a simple desire into an executive order. Chapter 2. The Supreme Law. Your mind believes everything you tell it. The conscious captain gives the orders, and the subconscious crew obeys. This is the fundamental dynamic that governs the ship of your life. But with what ink are these orders written, so that the engine room understands them without a doubt? What is the immutable law that governs this communication between your two minds? The law is astonishingly simple, and understanding it is the master key to unlocking your full potential. The law is this: your subconscious mind will accept as absolute truth any idea, thought, or belief that your conscious mind presents to it with sufficient conviction and feeling. To understand this in its full depth, let's use a metaphor. Imagine that your subconscious mind is the most fertile plot of land in the world, a rich, dark soil capable of growing anything with prodigious vitality. Your conscious mind is the gardener, and your habitual thoughts, ideas, and beliefs are the seeds that this gardener plants in the soil. The most important thing you must understand about this soil is that it is completely neutral and impersonal. It has no preferences, it does not judge, its only nature is to grow whatever is planted in it. If the gardener plants the seed of a rose, the soil will use all its power to produce a beautiful and fragrant rose. If the gardener, out of ignorance or carelessness, plants a seed of nightshade, a poisonous plant, the soil will grow it with the same care and the same energy. The soil does not say, "Oh, this is poison, I refuse to grow it." Its law is that of unconditional growth. Your subconscious mind operates under this same supreme law. It does not reason, it does not debate, it does not tell you if your thoughts are useful or destructive. It simply accepts them as seeds and uses its immense power to make them germinate and manifest as circumstances, conditions, and experiences in your life. Here we discover the origin of everything we experience. Health and illness, wealth and poverty, success and failure are not the result of chance or luck. They are the harvest of the seeds we have been planting, consciously or unconsciously, in the garden of our mind our entire lives. The power of a belief to materialize in the body and in life is something that science has rigorously observed and documented, although it often cannot fully explain it. The clearest and most fascinating example is the placebo effect. Imagine a patient with an ailment. A doctor, an authority figure, gives them a sugar pill but tells them it is a new and powerful medicine that will cure them. This is a suggestion. The patient's conscious mind, the gardener, accepts this suggestion as a truth. It plants the seed of "I am being healed" in the fertile soil of their subconscious. What happens next? The subconscious, which has absolute control over all the functions, processes, and chemistries of the body, receives the order healing and gets to work, It begins to produce the necessary chemicals, to adjust the immune system, to do whatever is necessary for the healing to manifest. And the patient is cured. The sugar pill had no power. The power resided in the patient's belief, activated by the doctor's suggestion. The subconscious simply executed the blueprint it was given. This phenomenon also works, of course, in reverse, in what is known as the nocebo effect. If an authority figure convinces you that something will harm you, your subconscious will accept that belief and can even produce symptoms of illness, even in the absence of a physical cause.
These medical examples show us a universal truth. The master seed, the belief, has the power to create its own reality. But a seed, to germinate, needs a vital element. It needs water. In the garden of the mind, the water is emotion. A thought without feeling has very little power to impress upon the subconscious mind. You can repeat the affirmation, "I am prosperous," 1,000 times a day with your conscious mind. But if while doing so you feel the anxiety of bills to pay, if you feel the contraction of scarcity, what real order is your subconscious receiving? You are planting a seed of wheat with your lips, but you are watering it with the poison of fear and doubt. And your subconscious, which responds to the language of emotion above all else, will grow the harvest of the dominant feeling. The true formula for mental reprogramming is thought, feeling, belief. A clear and defined thought, the seed, consistently watered with a congruent emotion, the water, is what creates the conviction, the belief, that the subconscious accepts as an irrevocable order. Your subconscious does not respond to what you think. It responds to how you feel about what you think. The feeling is the seal that validates the order for the engine room. By understanding this law, you realize that your greatest responsibility in life is to become the guardian at the gate of your mind. Your conscious mind has a power we often underestimate, the power to choose. You have the ability to choose the seeds you allow to enter the fertile garden of your subconscious. Every day, the world tries to bombard your garden with foreign seeds. The news throws you seeds of fear and crisis. Social media throws you seeds of comparison and inadequacy. Cynical or pessimistic people throw you seeds of doubt. If you do not exercise your power as a guardian, these seeds will take root without you realizing it and begin to grow like weeds in your life. Your job as a conscious captain is to examine every thought and every idea before allowing it access to the engine room. You have the authority to reject any thought that does not serve your well-being. When someone tells you, "That's impossible," or "You're not good enough," your conscious mind has the power to stop that suggestion at the gate and say, "I reject this idea. In my reality, everything is possible, and I am more than enough." By doing this, you protect your garden from external contamination. Practice becoming a conscious gardener. These exercises are designed for you to stop being an unconscious gardener and become the deliberate cultivator of your reality. Exercise 1. The seed inventory. For the next 3 days, become an impartial observer of your own thoughts. Keep a journal and create 3 columns. Column 1. Thoughts that empower me. Rose seeds. Note here any thought that generates feelings of confidence, joy, gratitude, or capability. I handled that problem well. What a beautiful day. I'm grateful for this person. Column 2. Thoughts that limit me. Nightshade seeds. Note here any thought of doubt, fear, self-criticism, complaint, or pessimism. I'll never get it done. How stupid of me. Nothing ever goes right for me. I hate the traffic. Column 3. Neutral thoughts. Note here purely functional or observational thoughts. I need to buy milk. It's raining. The goal of this exercise is not to judge yourself, but to become aware. At the end of the 3 days, review your lists. What kind of seeds are you planting most often? This is the cause of your current harvest. Awareness is the first step to change. Exercise 2. The reject and replace technique. This is your practical training as a guardian at the gate.
It is a two-step process you can use at any time of the day. Step A, conscious rejection. Every time you catch yourself thinking a limiting thought from your nightshade list, or every time someone offers you a negative suggestion, stop. Visualize a barrier, a shield, or even a stop sign in your mind, and say inwardly with firmness and conviction, I cancel, I reject this idea, I do not allow it into my garden. This act of conscious authority prevents the seed from taking root. Step B, immediate replacement. Immediately after canceling the negative, plant an opposing and empowering seed. Water this new seed with a positive emotion, however slight. For example, if the thought is, I'm afraid of failing at this presentation, you cancel it and replace it with, I am perfectly prepared and capable of communicating my value with confidence. I feel a growing calm and security. If someone tells you, the economic situation is terrible, it's impossible to prosper, you cancel that suggestion and affirm inwardly, regardless of external circumstances, I am a center of prosperity and I always attract everything I need. This technique, practiced diligently, is like weeding and planting new flowers. At first it requires effort, but over time, the new thought pattern becomes automatic. Your subconscious mind is the most powerful and obedient servant you will ever have. It does not argue with you, it simply complies. The quality of your life, therefore, does not depend on external circumstances, but on the quality of the seeds that you, the gardener, choose to plant each day in the sacred and fertile ground of your mind. Chapter 3. The Language of the Subconscious. Imagination over Logic. Armed with the sword of willpower, we try to rip out the weeds by force. We tell ourselves with martial discipline, I will not think about scarcity anymore. I have to stop worrying. I am going to force myself to be confident. We enter an all-out battle against our own mental patterns, believing that with enough effort and struggle, we can subdue them. And almost always, we fail spectacularly. The more we fight against a thought, the stronger it becomes. The more we force ourselves to feel something, the more elusive that emotion becomes. We end up exhausted, frustrated, and convinced that we lack the necessary willpower to change. But the problem is not our lack of will. The problem is that we are using the wrong tool. We are trying to speak to the engine room in a language it doesn't understand, and even that causes the opposite effect. The French psychologist Émile Coué formulated a fundamental law of the mind that explains this perfectly. It is the law of reversed effort. The law states, when the will and the imagination are in conflict, the imagination always wins without exception. Let's think of a simple example. Imagine a wooden plank 10 meters long and 1 meter wide placed on the floor. Could you walk on it from one end to the other without falling? Of course, with total ease. It requires almost no effort of your will. Now imagine that same wooden plank placed between the rooftops of 200-story buildings. Could you walk on it now? Your will, your conscious desire to cross, is the same. But now, your imagination has entered the equation. You begin to imagine the fall, the void, the terrible end. The more you try to force yourself to walk, the more vivid the images of falling become. Your imagination of failure paralyzes your will to succeed. The conflict has begun, and the imagination will always win. This principle operates in every aspect of our life. When you try to force yourself to sleep, your imagination fills with images of yourself tossing and turning in bed, and the result is insomnia. When you try to force yourself to remember a forgotten name, your mind goes blank. It is only when you give up and stop trying that the name suddenly appears in your consciousness. The struggle, the forced effort, the tension, these are the language of the conscious captain. But the subconscious does not respond to force. It responds to a much more subtle, ancient, and powerful language, the native language of the subconscious. If we want to communicate effectively with the engine room, we must stop shouting orders in the captain's language and start whispering in the native language of the crew. This language is composed of 3 main elements:
The first is images and symbols. The subconscious mind thinks in images. It is pre-verbal. If I tell you, don't think about your house, it's too late. The image of your house has already appeared in your mind. The image is instant, holistic, and loaded with meaning. The conscious mind, in contrast, thinks in words which are linear and abstract.
The subconscious does not process negatives well. When you tell yourself, I don't want to be sick, the image your subconscious receives is that of sickness. This is why visualization is one of the most powerful reprogramming tools that exist. A clear and vivid image of your goal is a direct and understandable order for your subconscious. The second element is feeling and emotion. As we saw in the previous chapter, feeling is the water that makes the seed of thought germinate. The subconscious is the emotional mind. You can have a mental image of a bank account with $1 million, but if upon seeing it, you feel the anxiety of doubt or the frustration of lack, the message your subconscious receives is not $1 million, but anxiety and lack. Emotion is the signature that validates the order. An image, no matter how clear, has little power if it is emotionally neutral. But an image, even a blurry one, if it is charged with the feeling of joy, peace, or gratitude, is a top priority order. The third element is stories and metaphors. The subconscious adores narratives. A simple story can bypass the critical filter of the conscious mind and plant a powerful idea directly in the subconscious garden. This is why parables and myths have been the most powerful teaching tools of humanity for millennia. When you listen to a story, your conscious mind relaxes, follows the plot, but your subconscious mind absorbs the symbolic message and the hero's transformation as if it were its own. Telling yourself a new story about your life is one of the most effective ways to rewrite your internal script. Images, feelings, and stories. This is the language we must learn to speak, and the faculty that allows us to use this language is the imagination. This is where we must correct another cultural misunderstanding. We often consider imagination as a form of childish escapism, an unproductive daydream. Nothing could be further from the truth. Imagination, when used in a disciplined way, is not an escape from reality. It is the workshop where the reality of the future is forged. Every bridge, every symphony, every company first existed as an image in someone's imagination. Imagination is the creative faculty of God in man. It is the portal through which the infinite power of your subconscious takes shape. Imagination is the master key because it resolves the conflict between will and belief. When you try to force a result with your will, you are fighting against your current programming. But when you use imagination, you are not fighting against anything. You are simply creating a new blueprint, a new possibility. The conscious mind registers it as, I'm just imagining, so it lowers its defenses and offers no resistance. But the subconscious mind, which does not distinguish between a real experience and one vividly imagined, takes that blueprint and accepts it as a new order. It immediately begins to work to turn that image into your physical reality. The most powerful use of imagination and the core of Joseph Murphy's teaching is to evoke the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Do not imagine the process, often long and difficult, of achieving your goal. Imagine the final scene. Imagine that your wish is already an accomplished fact. Don't imagine getting the job. Imagine celebrating after your first successful month. Don't imagine earning the money. Imagine enjoying the security and freedom that money has already given you. The goal is to generate within yourself the feeling of naturalness, the feeling that this is already normal for you. When you can feel the emotion of your wish fulfilled as a natural and present state, you have successfully convinced your subconscious. You have planted the seed and watered it with the feeling of certainty. From there, the growth is automatic. Practice, training your disciplined imagination. Exercise 1. The relaxation experiment. This simple exercise will give you a direct physical experience of the law of reversed effort. Step A. The effort.
Sit comfortably and now try to force yourself to relax. Clench your fists, tense your shoulders, and mentally command yourself harshly. I have to relax now. I must be calm. Observe what happens in your body. You will notice that you become even more tense. Your will and your actual state are in conflict. Step B, the imagination. Now release all the tension. And instead of ordering yourself to do anything, simply begin to imagine. Imagine the feeling of floating in a pool of perfectly warm water on a sunny day. Feel the gentle embrace of the water on your skin. Feel your body becoming light, weightless. Listen to the soft murmur of the water. Do not try to relax. Simply immerse yourself in the imaginary scene and the feeling of relaxation. Observe how, without any effort, your muscles begin to loosen and your breathing becomes deeper. You have used the correct language. Exercise 2. The mental rehearsal. Choose a small upcoming event that causes you a little anxiety. It could be a difficult conversation, a small presentation at work, or even a date. Instead of worrying about it, which is a negative use of imagination, visualizing failure, you are going to perform a positive mental rehearsal. Close your eyes for 2 minutes. Imagine the scene, not as it might happen, but as you would like it to happen, in its perfect version. Don't focus on the exact words you will say. Focus on the feeling. Imagine yourself feeling completely calm, confident, and eloquent. Visualize the other person smiling and receptive. Feel the emotion of satisfaction at the end of the encounter, the feeling of a job well done. Repeat this 2-minute mental movie several times in the days or hours leading up to the event. You are not trying to control the future. You are programming your inner state so that you enter the situation from a place of confidence and calm, which dramatically increases the chances of a positive outcome. Stop fighting. Start imagining. Your willpower is a limited tool, like the battering ram trying to break down a castle door. Your imagination is the master key that opens the door effortlessly. It is your direct communication channel with the creative power of your subconscious mind, the giant that patiently awaits your blueprints to begin building. Chapter 4. The technique of autosuggestion, planting new seeds. The word suggestion may evoke images of stage hypnotists, but in its purest essence, a suggestion is simply an idea or concept introduced to the mind with the goal of it being accepted. We live immersed in an ocean of suggestions every day. A television commercial suggests you need a new car to be happy. A news headline suggests the world is a dangerous place. A well-intentioned friend suggests your plan is too risky. Most of us are passive recipients of these external suggestions. We allow the seeds of others to plant their roots in our garden without question. Autosuggestion is the act of taking control of this process. It is the art of becoming your own hypnotist, of consciously choosing the seeds you want to plant in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. The principle is simple. Any suggestion, repeated with enough frequency and emotion, is eventually accepted by the subconscious and becomes an ingrained belief. And once it becomes a belief, the subconscious will do everything in its power to manifest it in your reality. Autosuggestion is not superficial, positive thinking. It is a surgical technique to rewrite your internal script. For an autosuggestion or affirmation to be truly effective, it must follow a series of principles. Ignoring these principles is why affirmations fail for so many people. The first principle, simplicity and clarity. Your subconscious mind is like a child. It does not respond well to complexity, long sentences, or abstract concepts. It needs a clear, brief, and direct order. An affirmation like, "I am in the process of developing a multifaceted strategy to improve my financial situation," is useless. It's too long, too intellectual. Your subconscious tunes out. Instead, an affirmation like, "Money flows to me easily and constantly," is infinitely more powerful. It's simple, it's direct, it's a clear image. The second principle, the present tense. This is perhaps the most common mistake. We often formulate our desires in the future tense. I am going to be rich. I will get that job. I will be healthy. By doing this, we are giving the subconscious a very precise order to keep that desire in the future, and the subconscious, obediently, ensures that wealth, the job, or health are always a little further away on the horizon, but never here and now. The subconscious only operates in the eternal present. To impress it, you must formulate your affirmation as if your desire were already an accomplished fact, not I am going to be, but I am. Not I will have, but I have. By affirming your desire in the present tense, you create the feeling that it is already a reality on the mental plane, which is the only plane your subconscious understands. The third principle, the emotional charge. As we have already seen, a thought without emotion is a seed without water. You can repeat a phrase 1,000 times, but if you do it mechanically, like a parrot, it will have very little effect. The key for an affirmation to penetrate the subconscious is to feel the emotion of the affirmation as if it were already true.
Before you start repeating your affirmation, take a moment to evoke the feeling. If your affirmation is, I am a success, close your eyes for an instant and ask yourself, how would I feel if this were absolutely true right now? Perhaps you would feel calm, confident, grateful, joyful. Connect with that emotion. Let it flood your body, and then, from that emotional state, begin to repeat your affirmation. Now, the words are not just words. They are vehicles charged with the energy your subconscious needs to begin building. The fourth principle, persistence. Planting a seed once and expecting a harvest is absurd. Subconscious reprogramming is not a one-time act. It is a process. It requires constant and persistent repetition to overcome decades of old programming. Imagine your old limiting beliefs as deep ruts in a dirt road. A single pass of a new car will not create a new route. You need to drive over the new path again and again, day after day, until the new rut is deeper and easier to follow than the old one. Repetition creates the habit, and the habit becomes the belief. With these four principles in mind, simplicity, present tense, emotional charge, and persistence, we can build incredibly potent affirmations for any area of our life. Practice building your master affirmations. This exercise will guide you to create your own personalized auto-suggestions. Step 1. Identify the goal. Choose an area of your life you want to transform. Be specific. Don't choose, I want to be happy. Choose something more concrete. For example, I want to be more confident in my professional skills. Step 2. Transform the desire into a fact. Take your goal and rewrite it as a short, clear, and present tense affirmation. If the goal is, I want to have more confidence, the affirmation becomes, I am secure and confident in my work. If the goal is, I need more money, the affirmation becomes, money comes to me in abundance and without effort. If the goal is, I hope to find a harmonious relationship, the affirmation becomes, I am in a wonderful relationship based on mutual love and respect. Step 3. Add the emotional charge. Now add a phrase that describes the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This personalizes the affirmation and makes it much more potent. I am secure and confident in my work, and I feel a deep calm and competence in everything I do. Money comes to me in abundance and without effort, and I feel immense gratitude and freedom. I am in a wonderful relationship based on mutual love and respect, and I feel completely happy and fulfilled. Step 4. The imprinting ritual. Now that you have your master affirmation, you need a ritual to plant it consistently. The best way to do this is through what Joseph Murphy called the lullaby technique. Choose a moment. The best time is at night, just before you fall asleep, in that drowsy state where the conscious mind is about to switch off. Prepare, lie down comfortably, relax your body. Repeat like the lullaby. Begin to repeat your affirmation over and over in a low voice or mentally. Don't do it with effort. Do it passively, gently, as if you were lulling yourself to sleep. The key is to reach a state of passive acceptance, where you are no longer trying to believe. You are simply absorbing the idea. Fall asleep with the feeling. The goal is for the last conscious idea you have before sleeping to be your affirmation, and above all, the feeling that accompanies it. This way, your subconscious mind will work on that idea throughout the night. Perform this ritual every night with persistence. Remember that you are reversing years of programming. Be patient and trust the process. Overcoming common obstacles. As you practice, you may encounter resistance from your conscious mind. This is nonsense, it will tell you. You're lying to yourself. This is normal. It's the old captain trying to maintain control. When this happens, do not fight that voice. Simply acknowledge it with kindness and return to your practice. With each repetition of your affirmation, you are weakening the old captain's authority and strengthening your direct connection with the engine room. Another obstacle is impatience. We want immediate results, but growth in nature has its own rhythm. You don't dig up the seed every day to see if it's growing. You plant it, you water it, and you trust that the law of growth will do its work. In the same way, once you have planted your affirmation in the subconscious, let go of the need to see immediate results. Continue your practice with a quiet faith, knowing that you have set an infallible law in motion. Autosuggestion is the act of consciously choosing the seeds you want to see flourish in your life. It is reclaiming your power as the gardener of your own reality. It is the deliberate dialogue with the giant within you. Chapter 5. The Cinema of the Mind, the Magic of Visualization. This is the language of the image. Your subconscious mind thinks in images. It is its native language. If I say the word success, your conscious mind understands the abstract concept, but your subconscious mind immediately searches for an image, perhaps the image of an office with your name on the door, that of your family smiling on vacation, or that of an audience applauding. The image is instant, holistic, and unlike words, is always accompanied by an emotion. For this reason, disciplined imagination, the act of deliberately creating images in your mind, is the most powerful tool you possess for subconscious reprogramming. This is not a simple daydream or an escapist fantasy. Visualization, when practiced correctly, is the act of drawing the architectural blueprint of your future reality and handing it over to the master builder that is your subconscious. The most potent technique for this is what we will call the mental movie technique. It consists of becoming the screenwriter, director, and lead actor of a brief scene that represents your wish already fulfilled. It is not a documentary about how you are going to achieve your goal. It is a short film that shows the happy ending. The fundamental principle that makes this technique so powerful is the key to all manifestation, evoking the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Your subconscious does not respond to the image of the car you want to have. It responds to the feeling of freedom you believe the car will give you. It does not respond to the image of the bank account with a certain number. It responds to the feeling of security and peace you associate with that number. Therefore, the mental movie should not focus on the process of struggling to get something. It should focus on the moment after you have already gotten it. Do not visualize the act of receiving the check. Visualize the act of paying your bills with a smile and a feeling of relief and gratitude. Do not visualize the difficult conversation. Visualize the embrace of reconciliation that comes after. By focusing on the end and feeling it as real, you are generating the emotional signature that your subconscious recognizes as an order to materialize. Creating your master movie is an art. It requires clarity, sensoriality, and above all, feeling. The creation of your master movie, step-by-step guide. Step 1. Define the happy ending. The first step is to have absolute clarity about what you desire, and then to condense that desire into a single brief scene that unequivocally implies its fulfillment.
The scene should be short, no more than 10 or 20 seconds, so you can easily repeat it like a loop. If your desire is to heal from an illness, the final scene is not the treatment, but your doctor looking at you in amazement and saying, "It's a miracle, you are completely healthy." Or perhaps the scene is you performing a physical activity you couldn't do before, like running on the beach, feeling the breeze and the strength in your legs. If your desire is prosperity, the scene could be a conversation with your partner in which you say with joy, "We've paid off all our debts, we are free." Or the scene of you looking at your online bank statement and feeling a deep sense of peace and security. If your desire is to find your ideal partner, the scene is not the first date. It is a moment that implies a happy commitment. Perhaps you looking at a ring on your finger with immense joy, or hearing your partner say, "I love you." The scene must be personal, significant, and must generate a strong positive emotional response in you. Step 2. Activate all the senses. Once you have the scene, your job as the director is to make it as real as possible for your subconscious. To do this, you must involve all your senses. Close your eyes and immerse yourself in your movie. Sight. Don't just see the scene, look at the details. What colors are predominant? What is the lighting like? What clothes are you wearing? What is the expression on the faces of the people around you? Make it vivid. Hearing. What sounds do you hear in your scene? Are they the words of congratulation from someone? The sound of the keys to your new house? The laughter of your children? The murmur of a celebratory restaurant? The addition of sound turns the scene from a photograph into a movie. Touch. This is a very powerful sense. What do you feel on your skin? Is it the hug of a loved one? The feel of the steering wheel of your new car? The texture of an important document you are signing? Feel the weight, the temperature, the solidity of the objects in your scene. Smell and taste. Often forgotten, these senses are deeply connected to memory and emotion. Is there a smell in your scene? The smell of new paint in your house? Your partner's perfume? The taste of champagne at a celebration? The more sensory details you can incorporate, the more real the experience will become for your subconscious mind. You are building a synthetic memory as potent as a real one. Step 3. Feel the core emotion. This is the climax of your movie, the secret ingredient. As you visualize the scene with all your senses, identify the dominant emotion you would feel if that were real right now. It is not a superficial emotion like excitement. It is a deep feeling of the soul. Is it gratitude, relief, freedom, peace, serene joy, love? Once you identify that emotion, concentrate on it. Let it flood you. Feel it expand from your heart or your stomach into every cell of your body. This emotion is the signature, the seal that tells your subconscious, this is real, this has already happened. Step 4. Repeat the scene in a loop. Now that you have your sensory and emotionally charged movie, your job is to project it. Repeat the brief scene in your mind over and over in a continuous loop. The goal is for the scene to become so familiar, so natural, that it loses its quality of fantasy and acquires the quality of a quiet and certain memory. Practice. Your private screening session. Exercise 1. Your movie script. Take your journal. Based on the 4 steps above, write the script for your mental movie. It doesn't have to be long. Title of the wish, X, financial freedom. The final scene, X. I am sitting on the balcony of my house looking at the sea. I check my bank's app on my phone and see the balance that allows me to live without worries. I smile. Sensory details. Sight, the bright blue of the sea, the sun reflecting on the water, the clear numbers on the phone screen. Hearing, the gentle sound of the waves, the singing of birds. Touch, the warmth of the sun on my skin, the breeze, the smoothness of the coffee cup in my hands. Smell, taste, the smell of coffee in the sea. Core, emotion, deep peace, a feeling of relief and gratitude that relaxes my entire body.
Having your script in writing will give you immense clarity and help you focus your visualization session each time. Exercise 2. The Nightly Cinema Ritual. As we learned with autosuggestion, the most powerful time to impress the subconscious is in the drowsy state, just before sleeping. This is your time for your private screening session. Step A. Lie down comfortably and relax your body completely. Enter that dreamlike state where you are no longer fully awake but not yet asleep. Step B. Now, begin to project your mental movie. Charge the scene with all the sensory details and, above all, with the core emotion. Step C. Repeat the scene in a loop over and over, gently and without effort. If you get distracted, simply return kindly to your movie. Step D. The goal is for you to fall asleep while living and feeling your wish fulfilled. Let the last awareness you have before falling asleep be the emotion of your reality already manifested. By doing this, you hand over a clear task and a detailed blueprint to your subconscious mind for it to work on throughout the night, rewiring your beliefs and attracting the necessary circumstances for its manifestation. Your imagination is not an escape from reality. It is the projector that illuminates it. It is the architect's tool with which you design your future. What you project with faith and feeling on the screen of your mind, your subconscious will accept as an order and will build it brick by brick in the workshop of the world. Chapter 6. The Power of Sleep. Programming your mind while you sleep. Imagine you want to deliver a message of vital importance to the king of a vast empire. During the day, the king is in his throne room, surrounded by his council of ministers, his guards, and endless courtiers competing for his attention. This is the conscious king. If you try to approach, your message will be analyzed, debated, questioned, and most likely rejected by the skeptical counselors before it even reaches the monarch's ears. But at night, the king retires to his private chambers. The guards relax. The counselors are gone. The hustle and bustle of the court dies down. There is a brief and magical moment just before the king falls into a deep sleep in which his mind is calm, receptive, and alone. If you could whisper your message in his ear at that precise instant, it would enter directly into his consciousness without filters or resistance. This is the perfect metaphor for the dynamic between your conscious and subconscious mind. During the day, your conscious mind, the king on his throne, is active, alert, and protected by the guardian of logic and doubt. But twice every 24 hours, this guardian lowers his guard. These are the golden moments for reprogramming, the direct portals to the throne room of your subconscious. These two moments are the drowsy state, the dreamlike period just before you fall asleep at night, and the similar period just after you wake up in the morning, before your conscious mind is fully activated. Dr. Joseph Murphy, like many other masters of the mind throughout history, insisted that these moments are, by far, the most powerful for sowing the seeds of your desires. Why? Because in this state, known scientifically as the alpha or theta brainwave state, the activity of your conscious mind and its critical faculty are reduced to a minimum. The door between the conscious and subconscious worlds opens wide. In this state of passive receptivity, your subconscious mind is extraordinarily suggestible. An idea planted at this time is like a seed planted in the most fertile, freshly plowed soil. Ignoring the power of these moments is one of the biggest mistakes we make in our quest for personal transformation. We often do the opposite. The last thought we have before sleeping is usually a worry. We mentally review the day's problems, tomorrow's anxieties, difficult conversations. We fall asleep in a bath of negative emotions. By doing this, we are unknowingly handing our subconscious a blueprint for more problems and more anxiety, and ordering it to work on it for the next 8 hours. And then we wonder why we wake up feeling tired and anxious. In the same way, the first thing many do upon waking is to grab their phone. We immediately flood our newly awakened and highly suggestible mind with the world's news, urgent emails, comparisons on social media. We are allowing the chaos of the outside world to dictate the first order of the day for our subconscious, instead of being the ones to consciously set the tone for our reality. Taking control of these two daily portals is an act of sovereignty over your own mind. It is the equivalent of ensuring you have a private and exclusive audience with the king every night and every morning. To make the most of this state, we can refine the techniques we have already learned and apply them with surgical precision. The subconscious lullaby technique for the night. This technique, which we have already introduced, is your main tool for nighttime programming. It consists of reducing your desire to a single short and potent phrase and repeating it like a lullaby until you fall asleep. The key here is passivity. Imagine you have already achieved your goal. Imagine that the feeling of relief and gratitude is already yours. Now condense that feeling into a very brief phrase. If your goal is to overcome a fear, the phrase could be, "I am at peace and safe." If it is prosperity, it could be, "Thank you for my wealth." If it is healing, it could be, "I am healthy and full of vitality." The phrase must be short so that it requires no mental effort. It must be emotionally resonant, and it must imply fulfillment. "Thank you for my wealth" is incredibly powerful because gratitude is the emotion we feel after receiving something. By feeling it now, you are tricking your mind into believing the event has already happened. The process is simple. Lie down, relax your body, and enter a drowsy state. And then begin to repeat your lullaby over and over, softly, calmly, and with feeling. Do not force it. Do not concentrate intensely. The feeling should be one of passive acceptance, as if you were listening to a gentle melody. The goal is for this phrase to be the last conscious thought you have before drifting into sleep. You are delivering your order to the engine room, and now you can rest, knowing that the crew will work all night to make it a reality. The first thought technique for the morning. The moment of waking is equally powerful. Your subconscious mind has been working during the night, often processing problems and seeking solutions. The brief period before your conscious mind fully activates is a moment of immense clarity and intuition. The practice here is conscious resistance to external distraction. Before you pick up your phone, before you think about your to-do list, be still. In that silence, do two things. First, listen. Pay attention to the first dominant idea or feeling that emerges. Often the solution to a problem that worried you the day before will appear with astonishing simplicity and clarity. It is your subconscious handing you the fruit of its nightly work. Have your journal handy and immediately write down any ideas that arise. Second, affirm. Before the day's worries have a chance to infiltrate, plant the first seed of the day. Return to your master affirmation, to your lullaby from the night before. Affirm it with feeling, setting the emotional tone for your day. Declare how you want your day to be. Today is a wonderful day. Everything goes well for me. You are giving the conscious captain his navigational orders for the hours ahead. Practice, taking control of the portals. Exercise 1, the design of your personal lullaby. Take your journal. Choose a single primary goal you want to focus on for the next few weeks. Now design your subconscious lullaby. Define the wish. I want to heal my relationship with my brother. Imagine the happy ending. The final scene is my brother and me laughing together at a family meal. Distill the feeling. The core emotion is harmony and love. Create the lullaby. Condense that feeling into a short phrase. There is peace and harmony between us. Or simply repeating the word harmony over and over, feeling what it means. Write down your lullaby. This will be your sole nighttime programming tool for at least 21 days to give it time to take root. Exercise 2, the morning sanctuary. This exercise is an unbreakable commitment to yourself. The golden rule. For the next week, you are forbidden from touching your phone for the first 15 minutes after waking up. No exceptions. The reception ritual. Instead of looking outside, Look inside. Dedicate those 15 minutes to stillness. 5 minutes to listen. Simply lie still and notice what thoughts, ideas, or solutions emerge naturally. Keep your journal nearby. 5 minutes to affirm. Repeat your lullaby or your master affirmation for the day, feeling the emotion of your intention. 5 minutes to be grateful. Before you get up, think of 3 things for which you feel genuine gratitude. This small ritual will completely transform the trajectory of your days. Instead of starting in a state of reaction to the world's chaos, you will start in a state of deliberate creation from your own center. Your mind does not stop working when you fall asleep. In fact, that is when its deepest and most mysterious work begins. By consciously taking control of the helm just before sleeping and just upon waking, you cease to be a passenger at the mercy of the nocturnal currents of worry. You become the captain who, even while resting, ensures that their ship is sailing firmly in the direction of their dreams. Chapter 7. The Secret of Gratitude, the Thank You that Manifests. Now, we arrive at the catalyst, the ingredient that accelerates the entire process of growth, the feeling that acts as the sun and rain for the garden of our mind. This ingredient is gratitude. In our culture, we often relegate gratitude to a mere formality. It's the word we say after receiving a gift, a social courtesy, a polite response. But true gratitude, the kind that has the power to transform reality, is not a reaction to something we have received. It is a cause. It is a state of being. It is perhaps the highest vibrational frequency a human being can emit. The law of the subconscious is clear. It manifests what we accept and feel as a present truth, and herein lies the magical secret of gratitude. When do you feel genuine, deep gratitude? You feel it after your wish has been fulfilled. You feel it after you have received the good news, after you have healed, after you have reached the goal. Gratitude is the natural emotional signature of the wish fulfilled. Therefore, when you learn to feel gratitude before your wish manifests in the physical world, you are performing the most powerful act of faith that exists. You are sending your subconscious mind the most unequivocal signal possible that the outcome you desire is not something you hope for, but something that has already happened on the plane of consciousness. You are closing the loop. You are feeling the end. And your subconscious, upon receiving this powerful emotional impression of an accomplished fact, has no choice but to get to work to align your outer reality with this inner truth you have already accepted. Gratitude, in this sense, is not a petition. It is a declaration. It shifts from the energy of pleading, please, please let this happen, to the energy of receiving, thank you, because this is already mine. It is the fundamental shift from a poverty consciousness to a wealth consciousness. Poverty consciousness focuses on what is lacking. Wealth consciousness focuses with gratitude on what is already possessed, both on the visible and the invisible plane. The power of gratitude also has a neurobiological basis. When we cultivate a state of gratitude, our brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the same neurotransmitters associated with happiness and well-being. It literally makes us feel good. It reduces the production of cortisol, the stress hormone, taking us out of fight or flight mode, which is the mode of scarcity, and putting us into a state of rest and digest, the mode of receptivity and growth. A brain bathed in gratitude is a more creative, more resilient brain and much more receptive to solutions and opportunities. There are 2 main ways to practice gratitude as a tool for manifestation. Gratitude for the present. This is the foundation. Before you can feel gratitude for what is not yet seen, you must cultivate the ability to feel it for what is already here. We often take for granted the wonders that surround us. The mind, in its constant search for more, ignores the abundance we already possess. The practice of gratitude for the present trains your mind to change its filter of perception. It takes it out of the habit of scanning the world for problems and deficiencies and trains it to scan the world for blessings and beauty. This practice is simple. Every day, consciously identify things you are grateful for. But don't do it mechanically. The secret is specificity and feeling. Don't just say, I am grateful for my house. Go further. Say, I am deeply grateful for the warmth of my bed this morning, for the safety of this roof over my head, for the sound of the rain on the window while I felt safe and comfortable. Feel the gratitude in your body. Don't say, I am grateful for my health. Say, I am grateful for the strength of my legs that allow me to walk, for my lungs that breathe the air effortlessly, for my eyes that allow me to see the colors of this world. By practicing this, you not only improve your mood, you are tuning your vibration to the frequency of abundance. You are telling your subconscious, I live in a generous universe where I already possess much. I am ready to receive more. Gratitude for the future as if it were present. Once you have cultivated a state of gratitude for what you already have, you are ready to take the quantum leap. You are ready to start using gratitude as the ultimate manifestation tool. This is the Thanksgiving technique that Joseph Murphy spoke of. It consists of giving thanks for your specific desire as if you had already received it. It is the act of living in the end, not with hope, but with a quiet and grateful faith. Practice, the ritual of manifesting gratitude. Exercise 1. The Present Gratitude Journal. This is your daily training to tune into abundance. Every morning before you start your day, write in your journal 3 specific things you are grateful for at this moment. Follow the rule of specificity and feeling. Every night before you sleep, write down 3 new things that happened that day for which you are grateful. This trains you to look for the good in your daily experience. It can be something as simple as a pleasant conversation, a delicious meal, or a moment of peace. This practice alone has the power to transform your perspective and your emotional state in a matter of weeks. Exercise 2. The Prayer of Future Thanksgiving. This is your tool for manifesting a specific desire. It is not a prayer of pleading. It is a prayer of affirmation. Step A. Define your wish with clarity. As always, know exactly what you want. X. To get the marketing director position. Step B. Formulate the declaration of gratitude. Now assume you have already received it and express your thanks. Write your prayer in the past or present tense. Example. Thank you, infinite intelligence of my subconscious, for guiding me to the perfect position for me. I am immensely grateful for this opportunity to use my talents, for the wonderful compensation I receive, and for the fantastic team I work with. I feel deep joy and satisfaction. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Step C. The Ritual of Feeling. Read this declaration every night in your drowsy state, but don't just read the words. Your real job is to feel the emotion of gratitude. Feel as if you have just hung up the phone after receiving the news that you got the job. Let the emotion of victory, relief, and gratitude flood you. Feel that emotion in your heart, in your stomach. Fall asleep in that state of gratitude. Overcoming doubt. How can I be grateful for something I don't have? This is the logical question your conscious mind will raise. The answer is simple. You don't do it with your logical mind. You do it with your disciplined imagination. Your subconscious mind, as we already know, does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. Your job is not to lie to yourself. Your job is to play a role. You are an actor on the stage of your mind, and for the 5 minutes of your practice, your role is that of the person who has already achieved their desire. A good actor does not pretend to feel the emotion. They genuinely generate it from within. If you find it hard to feel gratitude for something that seems very far away, start with something smaller and more believable. If your goal is $1 million and it seems impossible, Start by being thankful for an unexpected sum of $100. When that manifests, your faith will be strengthened, and you can move on to the next level. Build your muscle of faith with gratitude, step by step. Gratitude is the bridge between the dimension of the idea and the dimension of form. It is the final seal you put on your order for the subconscious. It is the frequency that tells the universe not "I want," but "I am ready to receive." When your desire is preceded by a thank you, you cease to be a beggar who asks and become a co-creator who acknowledges a truth that is about to manifest. We have learned to communicate with our subconscious. We have learned to give it clear orders through autosuggestion and visualization. And now, we have learned to seal those orders with the power of gratitude. We are equipped with the fundamental tools of reprogramming. Chapter 8. Your Right to be Rich. Programming Prosperity. We now come to the most practical and, for many, the most desired application of these mental laws: the creation of wealth. And the first thing we must do, before applying any technique, is a deep cleaning of our mental terrain. We must confront one of the most widespread and damaging limiting beliefs of our culture, the idea that there is some inherent virtue in poverty, or that the desire for wealth is somehow selfish, unspiritual, or evil. This is one of the greatest acts of sabotage we have perpetuated against ourselves. Life, by its very nature, is expansive. A tree does not try to grow just a little. It grows as tall and as lush as it can. A river does not try to flow with a trickle of water. It flows with all the abundance its banks allow. Abundance, growth, and full expression are the fundamental impulse of the universe. Poverty, limitation, and scarcity are, in reality, a distortion of this natural impulse. You have the right to be rich, and it is not a selfish right. In fact, it is one of the noblest aspirations you can have. Being rich is not simply about accumulating luxuries for oneself. It is about having the freedom and resources to live your life to its fullest expression, to develop your talents without the constant worry of survival, and to have the ability to help others in a meaningful way. A person with a kind heart but empty pockets can offer sympathy. A person with a kind heart and an abundance of resources can build a hospital. Your desire for wealth, when it comes from a place of purpose, is the desire to have a greater positive impact on the world. Therefore, the first step to programming prosperity into your subconscious is to give your conscious mind permission to desire it without guilt. It is to accept wealth not as a necessary evil, but as a natural expression of a life well lived. Once we have cleared this fundamental belief, we can begin to understand why so many intelligent and hard-working people struggle with money their entire lives. The reason is that they have cultivated a poverty consciousness. They live mentally in a state of lack, and their subconscious, obediently, reproduces that lack in their financial reality. Poverty consciousness manifests in habitual thoughts and phrases. Phrases like, "There's never enough money," "I can't afford it," "The rich get richer and the poor get poorer," "I hate people with money." Every time you utter or think one of these phrases, you are planting a nightshade seed in your garden. You are giving a clear order to your subconscious to keep you in a state of limitation. To attract wealth, you must stop condemning it. You must begin to deliberately cultivate a wealth consciousness. This does not mean ignoring your current financial situation. It means ceasing to identify with it. Your current bank statement is simply the result, the harvest, of your past thinking. It is not your identity. You are the gardener, not the harvest. And you have the power, in this very instant, to start planting new seeds. Wealth consciousness is cultivated through the deliberate practice of the tools we already know, applied specifically to the subject of money. Applying the tools for prosperity, the auto-suggestion of wealth. Your task is to create a subconscious lullaby that encapsulates your new financial reality. It should be short, simple, and potent. Joseph Murphy often recommended a simple word that, for the person,
symbolized the entirety of their fulfilled desire. A word like wealth or success. At night, in your drowsy state, begin to repeat this word over and over, gently and with feeling. Feel what wealth means to you. It's not just money. It's freedom. It's security. It's the ability to be generous. Feel that emotion as you repeat the word. Fall asleep with the word wealth resonating in your mind. By doing so, you are impregnating your subconscious with the essence of abundance. If you prefer a phrase, you can use something like, "Money flows to me freely, copiously, and endlessly, for my good and the good of all." The last part is crucial, as it neutralizes any feelings of guilt, assuring your subconscious that your prosperity benefits everyone. The visualization of the abundant life. Now, let's create your mental movie of prosperity. Remember, do not visualize the act of getting the money. Visualize the result, the life that this abundance allows you to live. Create your final scene. Choose a scene that, for you, is the unequivocal symbol of financial freedom. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be the simple act of going to a restaurant and looking at the menu from right to left, looking first at what you want to eat, not the price. It could be the act of making a generous donation to a cause you care about, feeling the joy of giving. It could be the act of booking a dream vacation for your family with a single click and without any anxiety. Charge it with sensation and emotion. Immerse yourself in that scene. Feel the menu in your hands. Hear your family's laughter. Feel the warmth in your heart as you make the donation. And above all, identify the core emotion. Is it peace, freedom, joy, security? Anchor that emotion in your body. Project it regularly. Use this mental movie in your nightly reprogramming sessions. Make it so real and so familiar that your subconscious accepts it as a memory. The practice of prosperous gratitude. This is the accelerator. Begin to live in the gratitude of your wealth, here and now. Be grateful for what you have. Every time you pay a bill, instead of feeling the contraction of loss, pause and give thanks. Be grateful for the service you received, the electricity, the water, the food. Be grateful for having the money to pay for it. This simple shift in focus transforms an act of scarcity into an act of abundance. Be grateful for what is coming. Integrate your financial desire into your prayer of thanksgiving. Thank you for the wealth that is already present in my life and for the abundance that flows to me every day in expected and unexpected ways. A case study, the story of a salesman. Joseph Murphy tells the story of a salesman who was struggling to make ends meet. He felt inferior to his more successful colleagues and was full of resentment. Every morning he would tell himself, "I'm not going to make any sales today." And his subconscious obediently made sure that was the case. After learning these principles, he radically changed his approach. Every night before sleeping, he created a mental scene. He imagined himself in his office at the end of a successful day, happily filling his appointment book with appointments and sales. He felt the satisfaction of a job well done, self-confidence, the gratitude for his success. He replayed this mental movie over and over. During the day, every time he was tempted to think, "I can't," he would cancel that thought and affirm with conviction, "The sales I make are for the good of all, and the law of abundance operates through me." Within a month, his reality began to change. He became one of the top salesmen in his company. He didn't change his job or his product. He changed his mind. And by changing his inner world, his outer world transformed to reflect it. Practice your reprogramming plan for wealth. Exercise 1. The diagnosis of your financial consciousness. Open your journal. For the next 3 days, pay special attention to your thoughts and words about money. Note every time you complain about the price of something. Note every time you feel envy for someone else's success. Note every time you say or think, "I can't afford it." Note every time you feel anxiety when looking at your bank account. This diagnosis will show you with brutal clarity
the poverty consciousness you have been cultivating. Exercise 2, the 21-day wealth ritual. Consistency is key. I propose a 21-day challenge to install your new wealth consciousness. Every day without exception, commit to doing the following. In the morning, 5 minutes. Upon waking, before picking up your phone, read your wealth affirmation with feeling. Then, spend a few minutes feeling genuine gratitude for 3 things you already possess. During the day, every time you catch yourself in a thought of scarcity, use the cancel and replace technique. At night, 10 minutes. In your drowsy state, perform your mental movie of prosperity. Feel it as real, and then fall asleep repeating your subconscious lullaby. Wealth, success, thank you. Your right to be rich is a right to life, to freedom, and to the full expression of your talents. Prosperity is not something you must chase in the outside world. It is something you must accept and cultivate within. You are the gardener of your destiny. The seeds of infinite wealth are already in your hand. Start planting them today. We have applied these powerful laws to the creation of material wealth, but the power of your subconscious mind goes far beyond money. It can influence matter in an even more intimate way, in the chemistry and biology of your own body. In the next chapter, we will explore the inner pharmacy and how you can use your mind to support healing and well-being. Chapter 9. The Inner Pharmacy, the Subconscious and Healing. We now arrive at the most intimate and, for many, the most miraculous application of the laws of the mind. We are going to explore the deep connection between your thoughts, your beliefs, and your biology. We are going to open the doors of the most sophisticated and powerful pharmacy that exists, the pharmacy you carry within you. Modern medicine, with its incredible advances, has often led us to see the body as a biological machine, a collection of parts that wear out and break down, and which must be repaired from the outside with drugs or surgery. While these interventions are often necessary and life-saving, this mechanistic view completely ignores the conductor of the orchestra who governs every process of this machine, the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind not only built your body from a single cell, but it also directs all its autonomous functions every second of every day. It controls your heart rate, the digestion of your food, the repair of your cells, and the complex ballet of your immune system. It does all of this without your conscious intervention, following the original blueprint of perfect health with which you were born. Dr. Joseph Murphy, like many pioneers in the field of psychosomatic medicine, held a radical truth. All disease ultimately has its origin in the mind. This does not mean that the disease is imaginary. The pain is real. The pathology is real. What it means is that habitual negative thinking, chronic fear, repressed anger, or a deeply ingrained belief of illness act as destructive orders for the engine room. They hand your subconscious a distorted blueprint, a blueprint of disharmony, and your subconscious, which is an obedient servant, begins to build that disharmony into the fabric of your body. Modern science is validating this connection in astonishing ways. The field of psychoneuroimmunology has shown, without a doubt, that your emotional states have a direct and measurable impact on your immune system. Chronic stress and anxiety release cortisol, a hormone that, in the long term, suppresses the function of immune cells, leaving you vulnerable to infections and inflammation. Conversely, states of joy, love, and peace release neurochemicals like oxytocin and endorphins, which strengthen your immune system and accelerate healing processes. Your body, therefore, is not separate from your thoughts. It is the physical mirror of your habitual mental state. Illness, often, is not a random attack from the outside. It is a signal, a manifestation of a conflict or a disharmonious belief within. The principle of healing, therefore, is simple in its conception, although it requires faith and persistence in its application. It consists of stopping the planting of seeds of fear and disease in our subconscious and starting to sow, deliberately and systematically, the seeds of health, vitality, and perfection. It consists of reminding our subconscious of the original blueprint with which it was created. To apply this, we will use the same tools we already know, but fine-tuned for the purpose of healing. Applying the tools for healing, the auto-suggestion of perfect health. You must create an affirmation that declares your state of well-being as a present fact. It is crucial to avoid any thought that gives power to the illness. Do not affirm, "My illness is disappearing." By doing this, you are still acknowledging the illness. Your affirmation must focus exclusively on the state of health. Create your healing lullaby. A simple and powerful phrase is, "Divine perfection and vitality flow through me, healing and restoring every cell of my body," or if you seek simplicity, health and vitality. The ritual. Every night in your drowsy state, repeat this lullaby with a deep sense of conviction. Feel the truth of the words. Feel the energy of healing flowing through you like a golden river of light. Fall asleep with the feeling that you are already healthy. The visualization of the restored body. This is perhaps the most powerful technique for healing. Your subconscious built your body so it knows every cell, every tissue, every organ. By giving it a clear and vivid image of health, you are giving it the exact blueprint for repair. Create your healing movie. Close your eyes. Do not focus on the diseased organ. Focus on the end result. Imagine yourself doing something you couldn't do before, full of energy and vitality. Is it running through a park, playing with your children without getting tired, waking up in the morning feeling completely refreshed and pain-free? Charge it with sensoriality. Feel the strength in your muscles. Hear your own laughter. Feel the sun on your skin. Make the scene so real, so vibrant, that your subconscious accepts it as a real experience. Feel the emotion. The key emotion here is gratitude. Feel a deep gratitude for your restored body, for the miracle of healing that has already taken place on the plane of consciousness. This feeling of gratitude is the most potent order you can give to your inner pharmacy. A case study, the healing of the skin. Murphy recounts the case of a man who suffered from a painful and persistent skin condition that doctors had been unable to cure. Every night, this man practiced a form of visualization and auto-suggestion. He would imagine his doctor in front of him saying, "You've had a miraculous healing." He would focus on those words, repeat them over and over, and feel the emotion of relief and surprise they would bring him. Furthermore, every time he felt the temptation to scratch or to think about his diseased skin, he would cancel that thought and calmly affirm, "My skin is perfect, clean, and healthy." After 3 months of persistent practice, his skin healed completely, to the astonishment of his own doctor. He did not fight against the disease. He shifted his attention from the imperfection to the perfection, and his subconscious, upon receiving the new blueprint, materialized it in his body. Practice. Activating your inner pharmacy. Exercise 1. The dialogue with your body. Your body is a consciousness, not just an object. This exercise helps you rebuild a relationship of love and cooperation with it. Once a day, take 5 minutes to sit in silence. Close your eyes and bring your attention to the part of your body that needs healing, or simply to your body in general. Instead of seeing it as a source of problems, send it a stream of love and gratitude. Thank your heart for beating, your lungs for breathing, your immune system for protecting you. Then speak to it mentally, as you would speak to a beloved child. Tell it, "I love you. I ask for your forgiveness for having ignored you or for having filled you with thoughts of fear. I give you permission to heal yourself. I trust in your innate wisdom to restore perfect order and harmony." This simple act of loving communication can change your body's chemistry and create an internal environment much more conducive to healing. Exercise 2. The healing light bath. This is a visualization you can do at any time of the day, especially if you feel pain or discomfort. Close your eyes. Imagine a beautiful golden or white light, bright and full of vital energy, descending from the sky and entering through the crown of your head. Feel this warm, healing light begin to flow downward through your entire body. Visualize it filling every cell, every tissue, every organ. Consciously direct this light to any area that needs healing. Imagine the light dissolving any blockage, any pain, any disharmony, restoring the cells to their perfect original state. Hold this visualization for a few minutes, feeling the warmth, peace, and revitalizing energy of the light. It is crucial to understand that this approach is not a substitute for professional medical care. It is an immensely powerful complement. Follow your doctor's advice, but at the same time, do your inner work. A doctor can set a broken bone, but it is the power of your subconscious mind that actually performs the process of mending the bone. By aligning your thoughts and your beliefs with the principle of health, you create the optimal internal conditions for any external treatment to work as quickly and effectively as possible. Your body believes every word you tell it. If you speak to it of illness, it will prepare for it. If you speak to it of health, it will mobilize to create it. You are the architect of your own well-being. The blueprint of perfect health already resides within you. Your only job is to remind your master builder of it. We have explored how to use the power of our mind to attract wealth and to support the healing of our body. But there is an area of life that often causes us the greatest joy and also the greatest pain. In our final chapter, we will apply these principles to the creation of harmonious relationships and to overcoming the fears that prevent us from truly connecting with others. Chapter 10. Harmonious Relationships and Overcoming Fear. Now we venture into the territory that for many is the source of the greatest joy and the deepest suffering, the world of human relationships, and hand in hand with relationships often walks its shadow, fear. The fundamental law we must understand is this: your outer world is the mirror of your inner world. The people around you and the way they interact with you are not an accident. They are often a direct reflection of the beliefs you hold in your subconscious mind about yourself, about others, and about life in general. If you deeply believe you are not worthy of love, you will attract people who do not treat you with the respect you deserve, thereby validating your belief. If you are convinced that people always disappoint you, your subconscious will ensure that you filter your experiences to focus solely on the disappointments, ignoring acts of loyalty, and you will behave in a way that subtly causes others to fail you. The most common mistake we make is trying to change the other person. We use criticism, arguments, manipulation, or pleading to try to make the reflection in the mirror change. But the mirror cannot change by itself. It can only reflect a different image if the image in front of it changes first. The only person over whom you have absolute power of transformation is yourself. And herein lies the key to healing any relationship. When you change your concept of yourself and of others, others must change their response to you. It is a law. Either the person in question begins to reflect your new belief, or naturally and often without conflict, they fade from your life, and their place is taken by someone who is in harmony with your new state of consciousness. Programming harmony in your relationships. To heal or improve a relationship, whether with a partner, a family member, a boss, or a colleague, you must stop focusing on their flaws and start working on your own mind. The affirmation for the other technique. This is one of the most beautiful and powerful techniques that exist. Choose the person with whom you have a conflict. Instead of mentally reviewing their faults, you are going to do the opposite. In a state of calm and receptivity, you are going to affirm for that person all the qualities you would like them to express. If your boss is authoritarian and critical, instead of feeding your resentment, relax and affirm with sincerity. I think of boss's name. I wish them peace, harmony, wisdom, and understanding. I recognize the divine intelligence within them, and I know they are being guided to act with justice, kindness, and respect toward all their employees, including me. I radiate peace and goodwill toward them, and they return it to me. By doing this, you are not being naive, nor are you trying to magically manipulate them. You are doing two things. First, you are radically changing the atmosphere of your own mind, moving from the poison of resentment to the healing energy of goodwill. This changes your body language, your tone of voice, and your actions toward them. And second, you are imprinting a new relationship pattern onto your own subconscious, and your subconscious will seek ways to manifest that harmony. The mental rehearsal of reconciliation. If you have to face a difficult conversation or want to heal a rift, use the cinema of your mind. But not to project the disaster movie that your fear anticipates, but to rehearse the movie of harmony. Enter your drowsy and relaxed state. Imagine a calm and peaceful conversation with that person. Don't focus on the exact words. Focus on the emotion. Imagine yourself listening with empathy, speaking calmly and kindly. Visualize the other person as receptive and understanding. Bring the scene to a harmonious conclusion. A handshake, a hug, a smile of mutual understanding. Feel the emotion of reconciliation and peace as if it were already real. Repeat this mental movie over and over. By doing so, you are impregnating your subconscious with the feeling of harmony, and it will find the means to bring it into your experience. Dissolving fear from the root. Fear is the great saboteur of life, the one that prevents us from taking risks, loving fully, and expressing our true selves. Fear, in its essence, is simply a negative thought, a mental movie of a catastrophic future, watered with intense emotion. It is a destructive use of faith. It is having faith in the wrong outcome. You cannot overcome fear by fighting against it. As we already know, what you fight strengthens. The only way to overcome fear is by using the law of substitution. You cannot simply erase a thought. You must replace it with a more powerful one. You must deliberately withdraw your attention from the movie of fear and project, with the same or greater intensity, the movie of triumph. The triumph movie technique. This technique is the direct antidote to any fear or phobia, whether it's the fear of public speaking, flying, job interviews, or illness. Step 1. Identify your fear. Be specific. What exactly are you afraid of? Step 2. Build the opposite scene. Create a short, vivid mental movie of yourself successfully and joyfully doing exactly what you fear. Again, focus on the happy ending. If you are afraid of flying, do not visualize the takeoff. Visualize yourself arriving at your destination, getting off the plane with a smile, feeling the excitement of arrival and telling yourself, it was a wonderful and peaceful journey. If you are afraid of public speaking, do not visualize the moment you start talking. Visualize the end of your presentation. Hear the sound of enthusiastic applause. See people approaching to congratulate you. Feel the immense satisfaction and relief of having done wonderfully. Step 3. Project it with persistence. Every time the thought of fear appears in your mind, use it as a reminder, as an alarm to immediately project your triumph movie. Do it over and over. Fall asleep feeling the emotion of success. Over time, the new, more potent movie, charged with a positive emotion, will overwrite the old program of fear in your subconscious. Practice, the architect of your emotional world. Exercise 1, the relationship laboratory. Choose one relationship in your life, just one, that you would like to improve. The commitment. For the next 30 days, commit to not criticizing that person, neither out loud nor in your thoughts. Every time a critical thought arises, cancel it and replace it with a positive affirmation for that person. The nightly ritual. Every night, without exception, dedicate 5 minutes to practicing the affirmation for the other. Mentally radiate peace, love, and goodwill toward that person. The observation. Simply observe. Notice any changes, however subtle, in your own feelings toward that person and in the way they interact with you. Have no expectations, just observe. Exercise 2. The exorcism of a fear. Choose a specific fear that is limiting you. Don't choose your biggest fear to start, choose one of medium size. The script. Write the script for your 20-second triumph movie in your journal. Be detailed with the senses and, above all, with the final emotion of relief and joy. The daily projection. Commit to projecting this mental movie at least 3 times a day, in the morning upon waking, sometime at midday, and at night before sleeping. Do it with the greatest emotional intensity you can muster. Your outer world, your relationships, your fears, and your hopes are a direct reflection of the conversation you maintain with your subconscious mind. When you stop blaming the mirror and start working on the face being reflected in it, the world has no choice but to return a new image to you. Harmony is not something you find in others. It is something you cultivate in yourself and then radiate to the world. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the conscious and disciplined choice to feed a thought of faith that is greater than the fear. You have received the keys to the kingdom. You have learned the laws and techniques to unlock the power of your inner giant, to shape your prosperity, your health, your relationships, and your courage. Now the only question that remains is, what are you going to build? Our journey began with the image of a sleeping giant, an immense power that lay dormant within us. We have walked through the operating manual of our own mind, discovering the 2 captains who govern our ship and the supreme law that rules them, the law of belief. We have learned the language of the engine room, that of imagination and feeling, and we have practiced with the tools of the mental architect, autosuggestion, visualization, and gratitude. We have seen how to apply this power to shape our prosperity, our health, and our relationships. The power, as you have seen, has always been within you. It is not something you acquire. It is something you recognize. The subconscious is not an external force you must conquer, but a faithful servant awaiting your orders. And that makes you, your conscious mind, the most important figure in your universe. It makes you the guardian at the gate. Your responsibility and your greatest power in this life is to consciously choose the thoughts you allow to enter the fertile garden of your mind. Every thought you choose, every feeling you cultivate, is a seed you are planting in eternity, a cause that will inevitably produce its effect. Your journey does not end with this audiobook. It begins now. Your first task is not monumental. It is simple. Pay attention to the next thought you choose, to the next seed you plant. You are the captain of your soul and the master of your destiny. If this journey of discovery has resonated with you, we invite you to continue exploring the power of the mind by subscribing to our channel, Path of Knowledge. A like on this audiobook tells us that you found this content valuable, and if you believe this message can awaken the sleeping giant in someone else, we encourage you to share it. Thank you for your time and for your courageous decision to take the helm of your life.